Hello, Kimberly. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, and oracle card advisor. Toot toot, there's a train out there. That's weird. I just started this. Usually, when something like that happens around me, there's something. It's when I'm doing a reading. I'll just say might be something to do with the train horn. I don't know yet. Anyway, just thought I'd bring that up because, like, the phone will ring and play a certain song while I'm doing a reading, and it always means something. That's why it happens at that moment. But anyway, I like to explain to my first timers, and you've seen me work before. I see, hear, sense, know, little taste and smell. This is not an exact science. They show me pictures, which I call spiritual charades, and I have to describe the picture to you to the best of my ability. And they don't always tell me everything. It's for me to get enough to you for you to know what they're talking about. That's a clear one. We are in a no honking zone. Just let me explain this real quick. We're in a no honking zone. I'm not sure what the train whistle has to do with this. Hopefully you'll know. They are not supposed to honk, even toot, let alone honk that loud. So, there's a reason. Anyway, they don't always tell me everything. They just give me enough so you will know, because it's really none of my business. They just give enough through me for you to know. Sometimes they blab a lot. They talk to me, but they also show me the pictures. Names, I stink at names, and probably the more I say that, the worse I make it. So if I say they're referring to John, it'll be at least a male with a J or a J-O name. It might be exact. Sometimes we are, sometimes we aren't. Nicknames fall into that category too. Don't know why, but I can't do it all perfect. So, we're going to talk to your son today. And thank you for being patient. I'm never going to be a dial-a-psychic where you're going to be able to get a hold of me immediately, because I'm always booked up for at least a week. Sometimes two. There for a while, I was 3 or 4 weeks out. I got pretty flooded. Anyway, so we're going to talk to your son, and it's like he's throwing himself on the floor, and he's going, my mom, my mom, mom, my mom. He totally feels your pain. He's not throwing himself on the floor for himself, he's throwing himself on the floor for you. He feels your total pain right now. So whatever it is you're going through, he's showing that he clearly feels it and knows it. He's showing you going here, going there, going here, going there, and that your mind's in a whole bunch of jumble. And he wants you, I even hear, come to a screeching halt. He wants you to come to a screeching halt. Dig your heels in the ground and stop. This is the way he's shown it, like a person. It's not a cartoon character, but it's like when a cartoon character does. And their heels dig into the ground and stop. And I actually heard the noise. I want you to stop. Take a breath. Okay. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I know this sounds so simple. You do that 3 to 5 times. Breathe in as deep as you can. Slowly. Don't be hyperventilating. And out. Slowly. As much air as you can. And honestly, every single person should do this several times a day, because our automatic breathing is shallow. And the more we get hyped up, the less air we actually take in. And if you breathe in deeply, every cell in your body needs that extra oxygen, especially when you get wound up. And I do it. Believe me, I'm not making fun of you, because I am hyper 100% of the time usually. And on my old computer, I had a note on there that just said breathe, because I don't remember to do it. He's being very, very adamant about this. If totally relaxes you. He wants you to find some music, put headphones in, you can't hear the rest of the world. And he wants you to find some music. He's showing like a babbling brook, like water running, like that soft, tinkling music. You know, sometimes I used to listen to chimes and singing bowls and things like that. But you can, good grief, sorry, I'm belching. You can get some of these things on YouTube, plug into it, and plug out the rest of the world, the real world, and plug in to you. He says, when you do that, and it calms you, and you actually go to your center, this is your center, and you pull all of those little cords in that, you know, this may not be the message you want to hear, but they tell us what we need to hear, not always what we want to hear. You pull all your little cords in, and you come back to you, and you alone, and cut out the rest of the world and everybody else in it. Then he's going to have more of a chance to get closer to you. He's saying you're so excitable right now that you don't even know that he's there. You can't. It puts up like a wall around you. And I know it's hard to explain and it's hard to believe it, but it makes it harder for him to come to you to help you. He's feeling like that for some reason you're feeling like total devastation. He says, and you shouldn't be, he says, you're not looking at the big picture. He says, you're not looking at the big picture, Mom. You're looking at this right here. He says, you're not looking at that out there. He says, you need to step back. He wants you to step back and look at whatever the big picture is that's going on around you, like you're not a part of it, like you're an observer. Actually, physically take a step back out of it, like you're taking a step out of the bubble of whatever that is. And stand there and look at it like a stranger would look at it. What would a stranger tell you about the situation? He's got some good advice. Sorry, I was reading your notes. He said there's somebody around you that's causing a lot of this stir. He says you need to step back from that person. Step back. Well, he actually says get away. I was going to say he didn't say that, but he just said that. Whoever this person is, they're hyping you up. And I know this is probably crackling. I'm going to go buy a headset. In fact, I need to make myself a note. I need to interrupt the reading just to do that, but I got to see if I can at least get my readings done until I get this thing back into the shop. So I'm sorry for the poor quality of the video. Now he's mentioning a dog. I can't tell how big it is. It looks like, I can't tell the size of it. It's laying down. It's really fuzzy. It's white. It's got a long tail. It's got a lot of hair on it. course, they all have big dark eyes, but it's even more prominent with it, and the black of his mouth is more prominent because the dog is white. And it's looking at him and wagging his tail as he's laying on the ground. So he wants to acknowledge that this dog is with him. May not be. Seems like lately I haven't been able to tell for some reason. Usually I can tell which side they're on. He says one of his sisters has felt him. All right, what are you doing? I can't tell if he's poking her on the head or pulling her hair. Or tapping on her head, and it's not going to feel not well. I shouldn't. It doesn't. I can't say never, but it may not feel like a real finger, but she's feeling something messing with her head. Now, when they get close to my head, it feels like, okay, now I'm going to start itching. It feels like I have head lice. So, but it just depends on each individual person's energy, exactly how you'll feel it. So he's been trying to, I don't know how many kids you have, but he's been trying to get one of his sisters' attention. And she's not acknowledging. She doesn't know that that's him. Once she starts acknowledging, hey, I know that's you, then then he'll start coming in more. Now he's showing me popcorn, and it actually, now he might just be indicating popcorn, but what he's showing me is that Jiffy Pop popcorn that you buy. It's already in the metal pan, and you take the lid off and shake it on the stove, and then the big ball of foil comes up. So I've asked a lot of them lately when they come through with signs to come through with softer signs, because people are thinking their houses are haunted, and they're not. It's just them coming in to check on you. So the smell of popcorn is going to be a sign that he's there. And you can be walking through the store, driving in your car, walking outside, and you get the smell of popcorn. And I have a strong, strong urge. I really want some right now. And that's going to be a sign that he's with you. When you get that, say, I know that's you. I love you. Please bring me more. And he will. Especially once you acknowledge it. Once they know that you realize that's a sign, then they kind of go, yay, I got through. Now I can do more stuff. He's not, I don't know who it is. It's a male. There's somebody that's around you right now that he does not care for, that he does not approve of. And I don't want to name names. I think you're going to know. Who do you have? What male do you have in your life right now that he would not approve of? Approve of the way he's treating you? That it's not a good fit. He's singing the song "Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley." So do you have a, now, this is not associated with the guy I was just mentioning. This is separate. So is there a Tom in your life or a Dooley that he's acknowledging? I don't think it's the song itself. I think it's the name. He's showing a young, well, I shouldn't say young. She's about the age he was when he passed. Girl that's with him. He's got his arm around her. She's got lighter colored hair. It seems like she's a little bit faint. I don't really get a relationship like blood relationship, but if it is, it's a cousin. It's a little further out. It's he want she's got long hair. She's really faint. So when they do that, it's because she's not important in this reading, but they just want to acknowledge that she's there with him. Granny. He says, Granny's here. Granny's here. Feisty Granny. So if you need to distinguish which Granny, because I'm not really seeing her very clearly either, but it's like really feisty fireball energy. Like she would make no bones about telling you if you're messing up type of person. You want you to know she's there. And there's a cat that looks calico, but with a lot of white on the underside. Not a total calico, and it looks kind of fat. But he's showing this with him, with them. So even if this wasn't your cat, he wants somebody to know that the cat is okay. He must have liked animals. There's another little dog. It's real small. It's got longer hair, darker hair. It's long, fuzzy. Well, the hair's straight. It's not kinky like a poodle hair, but it's got a whiter color around this area. It looks fairly young. I wouldn't swear to that. I can't tell for sure right at this moment. And it's bouncing. It's bouncing all over. It's just bouncing all over with his tongue hanging out, just so happy and jumping. And it's got a leash dragging behind it. It's hooked onto it. Don't know why. A red leash. He's talking about yesterday. But I don't think he physically means exactly yesterday. I think he's talking about yesterday, in the past, things in the past. He said there's things you need to let go of. It wasn't your fault. You have to let go of the guilt. And now he's moving like forward, like in here in the near future, and you can't hold on to the guilt of that. Whatever is going on right now and is going to happen here in the real near future, he says you can't hang on to the guilt. You've got to let that guilt go, and you can't make this your guilt. Like I said, they don't always tell me exactly. It's not my business. He says you're taking too much upon yourself. You're going to drive yourself crazy. Cat of 9 lives and kick it to the curb. Don't know that those are exactly together, but I'll have to spit out anything he says. I'm going to say it. A waterfall. He's showing me a waterfall. He's showing me like a big, tall waterfall. Something like, well, I've never personally seen one like this. It's not big and wide like Niagara Falls. It's really narrow, but it's really tall, and it's like it's out in the distance, and I can see it from way up high, and it's kind of a slim stream, but it's going down, so I don't know if this is someplace you've been or going to. I don't know exactly what the waterfall picture is. It's almost like I'm out in the middle of a forest. How can you think I've left you? Because you've heard me call Mom. You've heard me say Mom. You've dreamed about me. Can't tell from this dream whether it was an actual dream or a visitation. Now, visitation is different than a dream. A visitation, dreams, you forget 30 seconds after you wake up. You start forgetting it. Visitation, I can still remember every detail of mine from 7 years ago. You remember every color of the shoelaces, every smell, every word that was said. That's a true visitation when it's that real, because it is real. He says he's been there and he has laid down beside you. So you've felt something in the bed. He says, you're not crazy, it's real. He's showing you sitting up in the bed and grabbing a picture of him off the nightstand and looking at it and crying. And he wants to he wants to reach around you, take the picture out of your hands and tell you, I'm right here. I'm literally right here behind you. Not in that picture in front of you. He says you have to let go of the guilt. It's not yours to keep. No, I don't hear him. Hang on. All right, I'm not sure, but I keep hearing the name Brandon in my head. I keep hearing Brandon. I don't know that it's coming from him, but I keep hearing Brandon. Do you know a Brandon that has passed? And I'm assuming Brandon would be associated with him, but I keep hearing that name. And I stink at names, don't forget. So it could just be something close, but it's very clear. He's showing a pistol. He shows me a rifle. I can't make them explain. They will if they want. It's their show. He's showing me what looks like dirty money. And not feeling good about what he's doing at that time. He's talking about feeling like an animal in a cage. Animal in a cage. I don't know what it could possibly mean. Like he needed to break out of the cage. Unless, I don't know, I'm always talking about people putting me in the box, their box, you know. Maybe he's wanting to get out of his box, out of his cage. He wants to see you smile again. He says you feel guilty when you smile and laugh. And he yells, "Stop it. Don't feel guilty about smiling and laughing because that's hurtful to him if you don't smile and laugh." He says, "How can I tell you I love you? Let me count the ways." Is there a song or a saying or a poem or something about "me count the ways"? A poem that says something like that. If you know what it is, Google it. Let me count the ways. Let me count the ways. He says 1,000,000,000 BGB reasons why I love you. So, okay, he's talking about, is there some kind of oil or product or something that he used to put on his hair when he was getting ready to go out? Maybe a gel or a mousse or something that's a little oily, slimy, something. He says that there's been like streaks. I don't know. Well, streaks may not be the right word. There's been, you'll get some oil on your skin, or you'll find some oils on the counter. I think more in the bathroom where he used it. Be more like the product. And so the next time you go in the bathroom or wherever, where is it? You might even find some oily shit on your face. Wherever you find this, you wipe your hand through it, smell it. So you know that that's the same stuff that he used to use on his hair. And the smell of it will be another sign that he's with you, that you're going to smell it. Even when you don't find the oily stuff, it'll be another sign that he's around. And you smell that. He says, okay. He says he's heard you've heard him walking through the house. And I've kind of asked a lot of them lately, don't be doing the scary stuff. People think their house is possessed or haunted or something. So they've reverted a lot to the smells and things like that. You've thought you've heard somebody in the house, and you won't hear it when you're in the same room. You'll hear it when it's quieter, and you'll be in the next room. Or you might have even been in bed and you thought you heard somebody in the house, and it was just him. His presence is very, very strong in your house. And he had his laugh was, I don't want to say like a cackle, but it was different. He had a different kind of a laugh, and you've heard that too. Know that all those things are him, and he's trying to let you know that he's still there with you, and you can talk to him because he can hear you. He can hear you. He can see you. So don't go desperately grabbing for these signs, because that actually blocks those. And it's hard to explain. But just sit back and wait. He's all around. He's whispering in one of his sister's ears too. I don't know what he's saying, and it's probably none of my business. But he's saying something like, I'm here, to one of his sisters. So once you realize that he's there, that this is really him, these things that you hear or smell, then it'll make it easier for you to see the other signs that'll come through later. He says, I love you. I love you, but please let go of the guilt. Quit taking everything upon yourself. You have to let all of us have our own path. It's not your path to lead, it's ours. So I don't know if he's talking about him and his sisters or he's talking about every single person in the world. He says, you have to let us fuck up and fix it ourselves. I'm here for you, Mom. Trust that. You need to learn to trust that I'm here for you. But he still says you need to calm down if you're going to hear me. And he's showing me a rainbow. He promises you a rainbow. Not just that you're going to see a rainbow, but that'll be another sign. He's bringing you plenty of signs. So the same thing with the rainbow. Every time you see one, acknowledge him. You love him, bring you more signs. But he's basically promising you a rainbow in your life. That your life is going to be a rainbow. It's coming. It's coming. He says, but you have to allow it. He says there's something you have to change to bring that rainbow into your life. I don't know that he's going to tell me because he may not want me to know. He says it's your choice. It's up to you. It's not magic. He says, I love you, Mom, and he reaches out and he kisses the back of your hand. Okay, that won't feel like a pair of lips on your hand. He doesn't have lips, but it could feel like, you don't know how your energy is going to accept it. It could feel like a hair that you can't brush off. It could feel like a bug crawling on you. It could feel like really hot. It can feel like a pin sticking you. Something like that. So when you feel it in something like that, one of those things, however your energy is going to take it, back of your hand, that's him giving you a kiss on the back of the hand. Once again, acknowledge him. He says, I love you and I'm always around you. Don't take that for granted. Just know that I'm there. No, he says you do know. He says you do know that he's there. That you've seen or smelled all these things. And anything that's in this reading that you don't understand right now, a lot of times another family member will validate it, or it's going to happen in the next few days. He's telling you ahead of time so you know to recognize it. So he says, okay, he thinks he's giving you enough for now. He says, Thanks is giving you enough for now. Once you soak this in, then you can do this again. I don't want to make this sound like I'm telling you you have to come back and pay me for another reading. I don't want to make it look like I'm trying to get more money out of you. That's what he said. I never tell people that. It's your free will choice. I'm busy enough. I don't need to tell people you need to come back. So I want to thank I want to thank you for being patient. I want to thank you for putting up with a stinky video because it's probably crackling. And thank you for allowing me to talk to your loved one, trusting me with your loved one. Okay, let me get this loaded. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, and oracle card advisor. Much love to you, my dear. Let me know.